Do you have a VTEC? VTEC Pro.
Hi guys, so on this video I'll show you my adventures trying to install a set of coilovers. Obviously I'm not a mechanic, so don't use this as like a proper tutorial how to do it. This is my way to do it, and if you don't feel comfortable doing this kind of work, please go to a proper mechanic. So the first things, or one of the first things I did was to basically soak the bolts and nuts with WD-40 as much as I can, because this suspension, it gets exposed to the weather, so normally it will get a bit rust. Mine were not too bad, so I was actually lucky I could just undo it with a brake bar, but it was not too bad in the end. You're gonna have to remove these plastic clips, and also you're gonna have to remove this bolt for the brake line. I'm using braided brake lines, so yours might be a bit different, but the same setup. The next thing that you might consider is to remove the drop links bolts, because they are a bit of a pain, and I've saw in some videos that sometimes they basically get grinded off because they are so rusty that they will not come off. Hopefully it will not be the case of drop links.
5 minutes later.
Well, as you can see, my attempt to remove the drop links went very well, so I had no other option than to actually grind one of the bolts out. But it is what it is. These things happen with these components. So I proceeded then to remove the two bolts that connect the shock to the brake assembly. Some eagle eyes will probably notice that my drop link is still there. Yes, because I've removed the bolts before the drop links, but I'll strongly suggest not to do so, because you need the extra leverage to remove the drop links. So I would say drop links first and then remove these bolts.
Hello, morning. Yeah, it's good. Yes, that's what, isn't it?
Right, here again, with almost like all on this, you're gonna have plastic rims and plastic rims to remove. Bear in mind, I'm using the J's Racing strut bar, so there's another thing. I don't think I need to remove it because I just need to expose the the nuts on top. So I think the strut stays where it is, but we're gonna have to remove the panels, side panels, and obviously we're gonna need to remove the wipers. So we'll see how it goes. And this is why you shouldn't park under a tree. So the next thing is to remove these 3 bolts that hold the top mounts of the shock. Again 3, and then do exactly the same thing for the other side, and that's it. So now that you remove the top mount bolts, just pry the brake assembly a bit down so the shock absorber will be loose, and just be careful to not damage anything of the brake assembly, and it's just pull it out basically. Right, now so the strut is out, as you can see. So I thought it was a good idea or good opportunity to give the wheel arch a good scrub, because otherwise you're gonna have the coilovers in. So I thought, well, that's probably the best time to do it. So that's what we're gonna do now. Just remove some of this stuff. after cleaning up the wheel arch, I went then to open the box with the coilovers. So this is my attempt of a cinematic, so sorry if it's not good enough, but it's my first time doing it, so bear with me. Prior to the installation of the coilovers, I've capacited the threads. This works both as rust prevention but also a lubricant when you're changing the height of your car. The plan for the future is to get some coilover socks to prevent dirt to fill the gaps of the threads. Right, so the top mount is now in and is secure. So we are now ready to get the main bolts in for the hub and connect all the connectors that we need. It looks pretty good here, nice and clean. And I've also cleaned the bolts and give them a bit of paint so they don't look too bad when they are with the new coilovers. Right, I think that's it. Took us a while, but obviously this is the first time we do this, so we are not mechanics or experts on this, so obviously it will take a bit of time. So just repeating what I've done, obviously. So you remove those two bolts out, you remove all the ABS lines, the ABS line and the brake lines, make as loose as possible. You remove the bolts on the top mount, you remove the drop link. So the drop link, we're gonna have to find a replacement for that because we have to angle grind it. Yay. Then you just get the new coilover. Just make sure you cover his all the threads as better you can, because obviously when you do this kind of adjustments, it makes your life so much easier. And it's tidy. So I think that's it for this side. So we just need to repeat this for the other side, and we should be ready to go.
Do you have a VTEC? VTEC Love.